Chuck Aziz, can you hear me? Looks like it's all good. All right, up here we've got UFC 317, Topuria versus Oliveira, and Pantoja versus Kai France in the main event and the co-main event respectively. So we're gonna break down these fights, give my picks, and maybe a few predictions. Let's jump right into it. So we got Jackson McVeigh the Moose versus Christopher Ewart. Now, this one was a fight I actually had to go back and watch some tape. Jackson McVeigh just fought a Torres Finney from the dollar store, and Christopher Ewart fights like DDP with his hands down. It's a pretty tough fight to pick. Jackson definitely looks like the cleaner fighter, more technique, really good at putting his shots together. But it is the middleweight division, so I'm gonna ride with my boy Christopher Ewart. Very fun fighter to watch, just like DDP, but it doesn't have that high guard. And since it's the middleweight division, you just got to go with that middleweight meta, that DDP style, leaping left hooks, and just wild pressure. I'm not sure what the odds are here. Looks like they don't even have the odds up here. I'm pretty sure Jackson McVeigh is the favorite though. So that's the first dog of the night, Mr. Ewart. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see McVeigh victory here because these guys are both debuting. We haven't seen them at the UFC level. I just think Christopher Ewart's last opponent is way better than Jackson McVeigh's last opponent. Jackson McVeigh is 6'4", I believe, and his last opponent was like 5'9". And of course, he finished him in the first round. So a 5'9" middleweight, it's basically a Torres Finney. And that guy didn't have a great record either, if you look deep into it. Christopher Ewart fought somebody that was actually a pretty good prospect. I don't know if he's a prospect, but he might have been a bit older. Anyways, I'm going to go Christopher Ewart. I think DDP meta is the new thing. So my first pick goes to Christopher Ewart. Next up, we have Janata Denise versus Alvin Hines. Now, I'm not a betting expert. I don't bet because I don't have the means to yet. Not that I don't have money to, I just don't have the ability to yet. It's complicated. But I saw that Janata Denise and Alvin Hines fight to go to decision is plus 280, which is just nutty because the heavyweights haven't had a finish in over 3 months per MMA fighting. So that's very interesting. That's basically free money right there. But of course, you bet your house on it is going to end in a finish. And these guys are both pretty new to the UFC. I think Alvin Hines is coming in on short notice, making his debut. So this definitely could get finished, but you just never know. Could easily get sloppy and it could easily end in a finish. And we would see our first heavyweight finish in over 3 months. So I guess if you bet on the decision, you win either way. You either win some money or you finally get a heavyweight fight that doesn't last 15 minutes. After that, we get to watch a live snuff film featuring Nico Price and Jacoby Smith. I believe Nico Price will be on the short end of this stick. Jacoby Smith is like plus 3,000 or something. Minus 1,400, I mean. Minus, not plus. Nico Price plus 800. Yeah, that's just wild. Jacoby Smith's just a KO artist by the looks of it, and Nico Price is he's yeah, he's Nico Price. Next up we have McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borishev. Now this one is tough to pick, man. I want McKinney to win. I think Borishev will probably win. Borishev hasn't lost by KO or TKO, so I'd have to say McKinney. If he is to do it, he gets a submission, probably round one or early round two. I'm going to go McKinney by submission because I got to root for my boy. That's my pick. Again, I would not be surprised at all if Borisov gets the victory. It's a McKinney fight. It's 50-50, and especially McKinney likes to kill dudes that are, you know, above the top 40 lightweights, and he likes to be killed by anybody under the top 40, or however you phrase that. It's late here. All right, so I'm gonna go McKinney by sub. Next up, we got women's. I'm going Tracy Cortez because she's faced the better competition. Next up, we have Hyder Amil versus Jose or Jose Delgado. Now, Hyder Amil is a madman. I love how he fights. I love that second to last fight he had where he just pressured dude up, Korean dude up to the cage through left hook, left hook, right hook, back and forth, rinse and repeat until he got him out of there really quickly. I just rewatched that William Gomis fight, and that was a good scrap too. He was battering Gomis by the end of that fight, and Gomis beat, what was his name? Joe Anderson Brito, who's really good dude. And Gomis is a cheater, they say, but it's still a good win. Jose Legato looks like a really good technical fighter too. That's a really tough one to pick. I'm going to side with Hyder Emil, but this is like 50-50 fight in my opinion. Jose Delgado is that good, or Jose, however you pronounce it. Delgado is that good by the looks of it, but Hyder Emil has faced the better competition in Gomis. So I'm going to pick Hyder Emil. He's got a really good team behind him. Not sure the team behind Jose Legato, isn't it like the MMA Lab? Yes, the MMA Lab. So I think that's Sean O'Malley's boys, right? So he's a good dude. Definitely could win, but it's gonna be a good scrap either way, and we're all just gonna win. The fans are gonna win. I'm just siding with my boy Hader Emil. Next up, last card or last fight on the prelims, we got Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. Hard R Rodriguez, as John Anik said. Now, this one, I didn't do any tape study because I've seen these guys fight before. Jack Hermanson, really good grappler, good boxing. Gregory Rodriguez, just a wild man. Takes punches, takes punishment, gets cut up, gets the victory. Jack Hermanson hasn't seen a winning streak since 2019. He hasn't won 2 fights in a row since 2019 as a long time, so he just had a victory. Gregory Rodriguez is like 5 years younger, just a tank of a dude. I'm going Gregory Rodriguez. He's a slight favorite too. I didn't even check the odds. Oh, Jose Legato is the slight favorite. Okay. I'll have to go back and check the odds on this. Next up, Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. This one's super tough. I keep flip-flopping on this. I want to pick Talbot and then I want to pick Lima. I'm gonna pick Lima. I think he's the favorite too. Yeah. He just puts on a pace. I don't think he has anywhere close to the wrestling of Tony Barcelos, but Peyton Talbot didn't have great fight IQ in that fight. Round one, Peyton Talbot versus Tony Barcelos. Peyton pressures. He gets taken down from the pressure, his own pressure. Round two starts. He pressures again, gets taken down. Round three starts. He pressures again, gets taken down. Like, come on, bro. So I don't know if Peyton can fight off the back foot as well as he should be able to. Maybe he's made some adjustments. Maybe he just didn't have a secondary game plan. But Felipe Lima just puts on a pace. He puts on a fervid pace. He goes in there to give it his all. By the end of the fight, you know his heart rate's got to be in the 200s. He's just giving it everything that he's got, leaving it all on the canvas. And that's what I like to see. I don't want to see Peyton Talbot get taken down and then accept bottom position. If you're a wrestler, you know, you get taken down, that hip touches the mat and you're bouncing back up. You're not just gonna sit on your butt and just sit and think about it. It's not a jujitsu match. This is wrestling. This is MMA wrestling. You gotta jump back up. As soon as that hits the mat, you use that pressure to bounce back up. You don't just sit there and wait. So although I don't believe Felipe Lima can just wrestle him, I think he can mix it up. He can use the wrestling if Peyton pressures. His striking offense is good. His striking defense leaves a little bit to be desired. He does get hit, and that's what worries me. I want to pick Talbot because he looks like the cleaner striker. He's just so flowy. He's so creative. And I think I saw Felipe Lima throw a crescent kick. I think it was him. So that's worrying. Yeah, I believe it was him. Throwing crescent kicks in MMA is just, unless your name is Wonderboy Thompson, I don't want to see you throwing crescent kicks. It's just, I don't know. It's idiotic for me personally. Maybe it'll work someday. Maybe somebody will get a crescent kick KO, and whoever gets that first crescent kick KO, that's going to be sick. I don't want to see crescent kicks in the UFC. So that's what worries me. Felipe Lima gets hit a lot. Peyton Talbot has some power. Felipe puts on pressure. Peyton could KO him, but I think I got Felipe Lima by decision just due to that pace and due to Peyton Talbot not having urgency. He doesn't fight with an urgency, which is just, I don't know. I don't appreciate it. Although I love his striking, I just don't appreciate the lack of urgency. I'm gonna go with Felipe Lima, even though I want to pick Talbot. And not because I love Talbot. I don't know why. I keep flip-flopping. I'm going Lima though. Benil Dariush versus Hanato Moicano. Now a lot of people are saying Benny has a chance. I just watched that Armin fight. He was looking so slow. He got hit once. He shelled up. Armin got the clinch and kneed him in the face, and it was over from there. Now, Armin has a lot more power than Hanato Moicano. Hanato's path to victory is going to be tough over Benny Dariush. They are the same age, but Moicano's just been so active. He's been winning fights. He hasn't been getting destroyed in fights, even fighting tough competition. Like, sure, he got subbed by Islam, but that's Islam. He didn't get like absolutely, CTE ridden like Benny did in the Oliveira fight and the Sarukian fight. So it's tough. It's tough to watch because I like Benny Dariush and I like Hanato Moicano. I think Moicano's gonna win, but it's gonna be a hard fight for Moicano. I don't think he's just gonna go out there and destroy him, but I think Benny Dariush is just getting too slow. I think Moicano can beat him on the feet. If it goes to the ground, Benny could definitely win. I think I heard Sean Sheehan shout out Benny by sub is a really high number in the plus 1000s or something. And that actually isn't such a terrible idea. Like, we didn't really see Benny on the ground in his last two fights. He kind of just got destroyed on the feet. So Benny could definitely win. Man, I just started this saying I don't think Benny can win. I'm talking myself into Benny winning somehow. I thought this was an easy fight to pick. I was just gonna pick Hanato, but now that I break it down a little bit more, it's tough. It's tougher than I thought it was. Tougher than I thought it was. I'm still gonna go Hanato Moicano. Probably, did I say finish? Hmm. I think he could probably TKO Benny Dariush, which would just be sad. This is tough. I'm gonna be interested watching this one. I'm gonna be interested watching most of these fights though. I think I'm still gonna have to go with Hanato Moicano. You just can't pick somebody that's looked that bad in their last two fights Still facing a top 10 lightweight. Yep, I'm gonna go Hanato Moicano. Benny Dariush is tough stuff though. That'd be sick to see him rally one back, but I like both of them. Really good stuff there. All right, next up we have Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Joshua Van. I think Van's the favorite. Oh, it's plus 100s. Royval's slight favorite. Okay. Now, I'm not gonna break down any of their fight style, but you guys know it. Royval's a wild man in there, and Joshua Van's got really clean striking, but he fights with the pressure, with the pace, in the striking. He's really good. Royval's really good. I think it comes down to the intangibles in this one. Maybe if it was not a, what is the word I'm looking for? Man, it's late here. Let me get a sip of wine. Okay. If it was not a late notice fight, that's the word I was looking for. If it was not a late notice fight, they both had full camps. They both had 6 to 8 weeks to prepare for each other. I might side with Joshua Van. Josh just has everything working against him, and it could be slightly working for him in his favor if he had been preparing for Revel's style in the past, if he had stayed at a relatively low weight because he knew he was gonna uh, cut weight again, if he somehow used his activeness, his activity in his favor, in hindsight, we'll say, oh, that was a good thing that he turned around so fast and faced Raval if he gets the victory. But I think that's going to play against him. So it's stupid to say that it's going to work against him, but it could work for him. In hindsight, I'm not even making any sense anymore. But I have to pick Royval just because of the intangibles. Joshua Van just fought 3 weeks ago or something, and now he's taking a massive step up in competition to Brandon Royval. So it's tough. It's tough for Joshua Van. It's a win-win situation though for him. If he loses, he could just say it was short notice. If he performs well, he might still be pushed up in the rankings slightly or get a good fight next. And if he wins, he wins. He's top of the division, which might work against him in the end. He might have to face somebody of the likes of a Brandon Moreno or somebody, and they could expose him a little bit, or maybe he's not exposed, but he's just not ready. So this is a good one. I'm gonna have to side with the Raw Dog Royval. I see a lot of people picking Joshua Van though. I just think it comes down to the intangibles for me. But in hindsight, maybe that all works for him. So I'm picking Royval, probably by decision. But you could definitely see a finish. They got some powers, especially Raw Dog. He's got some powers. Now up next we got the Pants Man versus Cara France. I got to think about this one for a second. Pantoja's probably going to win. I'm picking Kai Car France to unseat the king of flyweight, Alexandre Pantoja. I think Kai will. I don't know. I don't know. Kai has to win by finish pretty much. But I'm going to pick him. I'm rooting for my New Zealand boys, my Kiwis, my Maoris, my Pukehas. I think this one's coming home down to New Zealand, down to the North Island. You was born on the North Island, but now live on the South near Nelson, eh? That was a terrible Kiwi accent. Yeah. I think this one's going to Alessandre Pantoja. I'm picking Kai Kara France, though. You just get that funny feeling. Alessandre Pantoja's 35 now. Was he 35 for his last one? I don't know. Does it matter? Not really. Pantoja's a generational fighter. Maybe he's not a DJ, but he's an amazing fighter. And I love him. I'm not the biggest Kai France guy, to be honest. I love him though too. This one's coming home to New Zealand. Let's go Aotearoa. Next up, the main event of the evening, Mr. Ilya Topuria versus Charles de Bronx Oliveira. Now, I broke this one down a couple days ago, a little bit more than I will do here, probably. What scares me most is the clinch work of Charles Oliveira. Ilya loves to pressure his opponents up against the cage, get the KO. If you look at the Jai Herbert fight, if you look at his last two fights, Volk and Max, he pressures them up against the cage, rips to the body, goes upstairs, gets the KO. Could that happen here? 110%. The thing is, though, I think Charles Oliveira has the best Thai clinch Ilya Topuria has seen thus far. And I don't mean to say that Charles Oliveira is just going to clinch him up and it's just going to be over. Ilya could definitely do the same thing. Rip to the body, go over the shoulder, hit the chin, and it's lights out. And that could definitely happen. And it probably will happen. But I'm just saying Charles could cause some damage. He could make it difficult for Topuria. He might be able to use some good defensive work in the clinch, good offensive elbows and knees in the clinch. Maybe make it to later rounds than Vulcan Max did. Now, do I think Oliveira can do some boxing like Max? Probably not. He could do some Muay Thai better than Max, maybe, but Max had some crazy teeps and obliques. He was fighting with a pace in that Topuria fight where Max was just going for Topuria's knees over and over. I don't think Oliveira really has that as an option. I don't think he could do better than Max there necessarily. And that Muay Thai distance, it's a little bit close. Like maybe Topuria could get outstruck by a point fighter, a kickboxing point fighter who could really keep it at distance, and somebody who has really good takedown defense and just circles out, keeps Topuria from pressuring up against the fence. But Charles is not that guy. Charles is either pressuring or he's being pressured. So I think Oliveira could either clinch him up, get a knee up the middle, hurt him. Maybe he throws a head kick like the Dariush fight and hurts Topuria there. That's what everybody's saying. The head kick, the head kick. Look at Jai Herbert. I think more of a clinch, knee up the middle, elbow. I think that could do some damage here. And I think the only way he submits Ilya is if he hurts him first on the feet. I don't think, unless they're super dry, somehow they fall on the ground, Oliveira snatches up a submission really quick in the first round. I don't really see Oliveira subbing him unless it's under those very specific circumstances, which is quite unlikely. So yeah, I think Oliveira might be able to make this one a little bit tougher for Topuria in that clinch, but I think it's gonna end the same. I'm going with that, what everybody else is picking. Topuria by finish. Probably, I'm gonna say round three. He got a round one finish against Volk, round two finish against Holloway. Why not a round three finish against Oliveira? Probably TKO. If he goes for a sub though, and then Charles gets him in a submission, that would be hilarious. Because he was saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna sub Oliveira." If he, I was also thinking like if Oliveira just pretends to get hurt and falls down, and Topuria goes for a submission because that's what he was saying. And Oliver is like just baiting him into his guard or something. Then he pulls him into a submission. That would be absolutely hilarious. And I would cry. I do want Topuria to win, but I don't want Oliveira to get killed. And Oliveira is probably going to get killed. So I guess that's my pick. Topuria by third round. I'm going to say Topuria is not. He always does what he's going to say, though. I'm going to say Topuria round three goes for submission and gets the TKO. That's a hard one to pick. He does what he says, but then he's probably not stupid enough to fall into a trap. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess I'm going to go Ilya Taporia, round three, TKO. Oliveira's on the ground, turtle position. After Ilya drops him, Ilya gets the referee stoppage. I think that's what I'm going for, you guys. So let's check out how many dogs I got. So Taporia is definitely the favorite, heavy favorite. My goodness, I thought he was like 300s. Cart France plus 210 making some money back. Rival's little bit of a favorite. Moicano's favorite. Felipe Lima's favorite. Gregory Rodriguez is the favorite. Lots of favorites I'm picking. I'm picking a dog here, plus 125. I'm picking the favorite here, Tracy Cortez. This guy should. Terrence McKinney's the favorite? Man, that scares me. How is McKinney the favorite against Borsov? That's tough. Okay. Okay. A lot of favorites so far. I think I only got one or two dogs. Man, I didn't even say Jacoby Smith. That's like without even question. If Jacoby Smith loses, then he's gonna bust so many parlays. The UFC is probably gonna cut him immediately. And that would be absolutely hilarious. Janata Denise versus Alvin Hines. Did I even talk about this one? I think I'm going Janata Denise anyways. Who cares really? Jackson McVeigh, Christopher Ewer. I'm going the dog, I believe it's Christopher Ewer. I wonder if we could find those odds. McVeigh, Ewer odds, betting odds. Ewer's plus 100. Is that correct? McVeigh, worst 225, current plus 145. Eward's the favorite? Man, it's kind of a pick 'em. You got some that are really that have McVeigh at a minus 225. You got some that have Ewert at a minus 178. Man, those are swinging like crazy. Plus 145 McVeigh. McVeigh's the dog now. Ewert's the favorite. That's crazy. I thought people were having McVeigh as the favorite, but McVeigh has faced some really not so great competition, and Ewert has faced better competition, and he has that DDP meta. Okay. Anyways, I think I only got he's a favorite, he's a favorite, he's a favorite, he's a favorite, she's a favorite, he's a favorite. Wait. No. He's a dog. One dog. I remember last time I did a bunch of dogs. Didn't do so well on my picks. Two dogs. Two dogs on the card. Going two dogs on the card. Are there any other dogs I think could really have a chance? Of course, Borshov. Of course, McVeigh. So I would probably, yeah, if I were to hedge something, I would say McVeigh, Borshov. Definitely Delgado could win, but he's not a dog. Herman's a good win. Just going Rodriguez. Talbot could win. So there's some dogs to be picked. Benny could win, although at plus 120, I wouldn't pick that. I don't know, just from his recent fights. I don't think that's worth it. Josh could win, but it's plus 100, you know? And Oliveira could definitely win. A lot of really competitive fights. A lot of really competitive fights, but those are my picks. I'll just do one last run through. I think I already did like 6 run throughs. This is really more for me than anything else, though. What up, my people? So Ewert decision, Janata decision, Jacoby finish, McKinney finish, Tracy decision, Hyder decision, Rodriguez decision, Felipe Lima decision, Hanato decision, Brandon. Hmm, what did I say earlier? Decision. I'll throw in a finish. Cara France finish. Ilya Topuria finish. So probably going to be some sick fights if that all goes as planned. What I say, 5 finishes or 3 finishes on the main card. It's going to be a lot better than UFC Baku, that's for sure. So that's UFC 317. And I only do these because I like to have my picks out there to be known in the world so that people can shit on me if I get them wrong and I can boast about them if I get them right. And it's just fun. It's funner to watch the fights after you made some picks. So yeah, if good Lord, if one day we get somebody in the chat, that would be sick. So if you ever see this, hook a buddy up with one of those little like things, hook a buddy up with maybe a little sub button action, maybe try to catch me for another live, but you'll never really know when that is until I start to get a little action on the channel. Maybe I can start to really set those kind of things up. But it's probably going to be around this time. Try to do 2 times a week, at least when there's cards. Maybe I'll start to do some other videos too. You never know. Got terrible audio, but I got it better than last time. I kind of figured it out. This card though is sick. I think the only 2 fights that are not really worth watching are maybe the Cortez fight and the Janata Denise Alvin Hines fight. And not to say that they won't be good fights. I'm just saying like the other ones probably levels above them. I think Ewert fights like a madman. Jacoby's gonna kill his dude. McKinney's always fun. Hyder Mill's always fun. Rodriguez is always fun. Felipe Lima is always wild. Moicano and Dariush are just top lightweights. You gotta watch them. Rival's always fun. Josh is fun. Pantoja's always in a war. Ilya's always killing people. So yeah, really good card. Not the name value that a lot of people are asking for in these cards. They want to see Dustin Poiriers. They want to see the Gaethjes. They want to see Izzy Adesanya. I think this one is better than a lot of what we can offer at the moment. It just doesn't have those name values yet. But in a couple of years, you could see people talking about Josh Van like he's a Poirier. Maybe not a Poirier, but like he's a Brandon Moreno. You could see people talking about Felipe Lima or Peyton Talbot as one of those top dogs, like a Sean O'Malley. Like Peyton definitely could be the next Sean O'Malley. Hyder Emil could make a name at lightweight or featherweight. My bad. McKinney is already like pretty famous for being a number 50 ranked lightweight. Like everybody when they mention McKinney, Like they know who you're talking about, or we know who they're talking about, and we know he's an all-action fighter. And who knows about these two dudes? Ewart and McVeigh, they make a splash on the scene, especially if one of them starts to get some finishes. McVeigh's all finishes, but hasn't fought any competition yet. Any competition of note, that is. So great card in my opinion. 12 fights, only two of them are not super exciting on paper. They could end up to be super exciting fights. I got 2 minutes left. Let me give my predictions for fight of the night and performances of the night. These are tough. Probably whoever wins the co-main, I'm gonna say gets the performance of the night. Is kind of a cop-out answer, but I think it's probably the main event and the co-main. Whoever wins those gets the performance of the night. Could get fight of the night for the main event if Oliveira puts on some competition. If he finishes early, could get performance of the night. But I could definitely see that getting fight of the night too. So that's tough. But I would say like maybe Car France, he knocks out Pantoja, he's getting the performance of the night. Could be another fight of the night too though. And for so I'll say Ilya and Car France get performance of the night. But they could easily give the main fight of the night if Oliveira puts up any fight. This the fight of the night, if it's something other than that, would be tough because there's just so many good fights. They usually like to give those bonuses to people higher on the card, unless these are absolute stinkers. But how could they be? Like McVeigh, it looks like it's going to be wild. McKinney, Borshev has to be wild. Hyder Meal, Jose Delgado has to be wild. Gregory Rodriguez is never in a boring fight. Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima is one of the most like anticipated matchups on this card. Ravel Joshua Van could easily be fight of the night. I'm gonna say, man, this is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna just go with Hyder Meal. He's my boy. I'm gonna say Hyder Meal Jose Delgado get fight of the night. Cara France gets performance of the night, and Ilya Topuria gets performance of the night. Kind of unlikely that those picks happen, but they're just fun picks for me. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. Let me see, what else do we have to say? What else is there? Oh yes, SD Dumas. He pulled out of his fight versus Jackson McVeigh due to his ankle monitor not being able to be taken off, as I'm sure you all know. Imagine if he got it taken off, beat McVeigh, ref goes to raise his hand, and you just see SD Dumas running down the hall, fleeing the arena. Man, that would have been good times. Anything else to note? That plus 280 on the fight to go to distance. That's good stuff on the heavyweight fight. Man, not really else much to say. John Jones in the stuff. Who cares, man? He's not even a fighter anymore. He's just a POS. Just a psychopath, really. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. That was like 40 minutes, man. Come on, I gotta speed these things up. UFC 317. Get her after it. Aotearoa. Chew my cuzzies. Take it home, Car France. Don't kill my boy Ilya. Benny. Do good out there, son. McKinney. Do good for Spokane. Get that submission victory. or if you're the first man to KO, TKO Borshov, that's good stuff too. Hyder, have fun out there. I think that's it, guys. Take care. Peace. I'll see you on the next one.